Hey folks, Leader here once again. My hair don't look too messy. Hey folks, Leader here once again. Welcome back to another review. Sorry if I sound a little sick. I'm not sick, it's just, It's just that my parents are very sick. They have been tested for corona, so just to give everybody a heads up. But I'm okay, I'm doing fine. When I've been in the house, I've been wearing my mask around them, except here in my room or when I drive my car. But, my brother tested negative for it, but I didn't test for corona because I didn't have the money. I don't have any health insurance, but I'm doing okay. First time dealing with it, it's probably my sinuses. It's not corona. I doubt I have that. It's just the freaking cold and stuff, Just, folks, if you're out there, if you're watching this video, if you don't mind, just don't forget to say a prayer for my parents, If you don't mind. And, but anyway, continuing with the Superman reviews. Continuing reading the Superman franchise. Hope after I reviewed Superman the movie. That was like 3 days ago, and I'm like, wow, the views up on that got kind of just flew through the roof, like Superman himself just flew through the sky. But I appreciate the views on Superman the movie, folks, for watching. And 341 subscribers, well, I appreciate it. I hope it keeps growing, because I'm not quitting YouTube, folks. I'm not quitting YouTube, so please don't sub if I don't do videos anymore. It's just because sometimes I, just don't have the time to do it when I'm working, or it depends on how I'm feeling. Tired sometimes. But anyway, now I'm reviewing the sequel that came out, well, I'm going to say 1981 because it did come out in the US in 1981, so that's what this review will be called. And this time I'm reviewing the sequel, Superman 2, yes, which is the sequel to Superman the movie. There is a Richard Donner cut, but I'm going to review the original version first. This came first, so hopefully you'll enjoy it. Like I said, it is part of the Christopher Reeve Superman franchise that I'm reviewing. And it used to look like this DVD right here, as you can see with the second movie with Zod, Ursa, and Nunn behind there. But my DVD of the movie got scratched up really bad, so I had to rebuy Superman 2. I wasn't going to buy it on Amazon at the time, but luckily there was a Blockbuster were closing at the time, and it was shutting down. They were just on movies on sale for cheap. And luckily, I found Superman 2 when I bought it, so I got lucky that night, But Superman 2, to sum it down, I enjoyed the sequel. I think this is a good, solid sequel. Maybe I have a little bit of issues with it, but still, it's an entertaining sequel. It's a fun sequel. I'm not going to say I like it better than the Richard Donner cut. I probably do, because I grew up more watching this version as a kid, I've seen this a lot more than the Richard Donner cut. Not saying that's a bad movie, but I'm not saying it's better yet until I review it. Richard Donner cut until I see it, so it depends. My opinion could change on that. But again, I like Superman 2. I think it's a good sequel. Entertaining. But let's talk about how it came to be. This time, the film was directed by Richard Lester, who I think he's known for directing comedies. He also directed Superman 3. I think he's directed like Three Musketeers, a couple other movies. But I don't think he makes movies anymore. But I think he was known for directing comedies, mostly. I'm not really sure. Cinematography for both Superman films, when they were filming Superman the movie, the Cine decided to both, make Superman the movie 2 back to back at Palm Studios for the Krypton scenes. But by May 1977, production had run 2 weeks behind schedule, and the budget was not going very good. It was reported that Donner had developed tensions with Alexander and Zarkon and Perry Spangler concerning I think Perry Spangler, who wrote the Godfather book, I think. Wasn't that him? He was also a consultant on Superman the movie, starring Helen Slater. But anyway, like I said, when they were making Superman the movie and Superman 2 back to back, There were issues with all kinds. The budget was not going very well. They were behind schedule to release, Superman the movie. They wanted a May release, but they got December, and of course, because of it, they ended up firing Richard Donner. But they had an argument behind the scenes. Donner responded by claiming he was never given a budget. In July 1977, Richard Lester, who previously directed The Three Musketeers and The Four Musketeers for the Soulcast, came on board the project, so I guess they got him instead as uncredited associate producer and truly on Superman to mediate the relationship with Donner and the Soulkinds, who were no longer on speaking terms. Prior to this, Lester had won a lawsuit against the Soulkinds for money still owed to him for making the films, but the assets were held in legal attachments in the Bahamas. The Soulkinds then offered to conservate him if he would help on the Superman films, and Lester became a second unit director, where he and Donner formed an executive partnership in October 1977. Gene Hackman, Ned Beatty, and Billy Pritchard had completed their scenes as they were all under contract to finish both pictures. Yeah, I think for most of the Richard Donner cut, some of that is filmed by Donner. I think just mostly the Gene Hackman scenes and the Marlon Brando scenes. I believe, I could be wrong. I haven't looked at my information on that. I'm just saying, I think I've heard about that. That some of it was done by Gene Hackman, like Luthor being in prison and Luthor breaking out of jail. That was the Richard Donner. This movie that was filmed by Donner. So, because he did film some of Superman too. He just wasn't able to completely finish it. Or, I guess you could say the whole scenes and stuff were cut out, and they changed the movie completely until in 2006 we got the Richard Donner cut. Donner had shot 75% of Superman 2, but he was focusing on finishing Superman the movie, the first one, which they should have focused on that before. During the pause in filming, the Soulkinds agreed to a negative pickup deal with Warner Brothers, granting the studio rights to foreign distribution and television airs in exchange for more financing, replacing Donner. Following the release of Superman December in '78, Spengler encountered very fond Mr. Arcade at a Christmas party, in which he confirmed that while there had been tensions between him and Donner, he was proud of the film and looked forward to working with him on the sequel. According to contacted Donner, who responded, if he's on it, I'm not. 2 days after the first film's general release, Marlon Brando had sued the Soulkinds for $50 million, claiming he would never see a percentage of the film's gross and filled a restraining order to prevent the use of his likeness. I'm like, really? I think Brando was kind of just being a jerk here. I'm like, Like, don't get me wrong, Brando was a great actor, don't get me wrong, he's a legend. But it just feels like at the time the guy was just being an asshole, thinking I'm so perfect. Look at me, I'm Mr. Marlon Brando, I don't care who you are in this world, you're just, actors are actors, it's a job, you're human, you're not high and above, I don't know if Brando thought of himself at that time, but suing them, I'm like, I think they paid him his money. Because he did the movie, he did the first movie, so you were in the movie, they gave you cue cards, they agreed with him, so why do you have to be a jerk about it and sue them? Following this, though, Alexander Soulkind announced that Marlon Brando's completed scenes for Superman 2 would be excised from the movie in order for them to avoid having to pay the actor. Of course, I guess they took his scenes out. Can't blame him. Across U.S. box office takings, he was now demanding for his performance in the sequel. In addition to this, Soulkind had also claimed Brando was removed due to creative differences, which he suggested to his father. What if it's the mother instead? She talks about love to her son, and it's kind of made sense clearly. Gerard had done his thing, if you want. Don really wanted this decision, and when she told Bernie, this means go games. They have to want me to do it. My terms and my mean finishing, I mean control. But I do agree with the mother point. Superman 2, we don't see Jerome here, but it is Laura, it is his mother, which was nice. I liked seeing Superman's mother here. I've heard one person say it here on YouTube that reviewed Superman 2, this version, this original version, said that, sometimes kids, rather go to their mothers than their fathers instead, or rather talk to their mothers about certain stuff instead of their fathers, but, this is like that sometimes, As Donner had become unavailable during the European campaign for Superman, the Soulkinds approached Guy Hamilton to take over reins for Superman 2 since Lester was filming in Cuba at the time. However, Hamilton was unavailable by the time Superman 2 was ready to begin filming. Lester had completed Cuba and was able to direct. Eventually, on March 15, 1979, the Salkinds started to replace Donner with Richard Lester. Donner recorded that one day I got a telegram from them saying, "My services are no longer needed," and that my dear friend Richard Lester would take over. To this day, I have never heard from them. I've been there to encounter. Dick Donner said, "I will do the second movie on my terms without Perry Spangler." Spangler was my friend since childhood, and my father and I were very old guys. We said no, and it really boiled down to that. The decision to replace Donner was controversial amongst the cast and the crew, because Donner he is the reason that we have superhero movies today. He did such a great job. Superman the movie, I think, is a big part of the reason that film was a success, and the reason you have many other superhero films like this and all that I'm Captain Marvel, Guardians 2, all that I'm looking at over there. Creative designer Tom Manson was approached by Terry Semel, then at Warner Brothers, Vice President, to return for the sequel, but he declined out of loyalty to Donner. He recounted, "I have a lot of respect for him," referring to Richard Lester. "Friendship is more important than anything, and Dick brought me on the picture, and loyalty was with Dick, and I couldn't believe they fired him." Editor Stuart Bird also declined to return for the sequel. Gene Hackman declined to return for reshoots, which necessarily they needed for a standard actor and a voice double for several scenes. And I even think Margot Kidder, was also angry about it at the time, and, since she was pissed off about it, they gave her kind of a minor role in Superman 3. We'll get to Superman 3 then later, but production under Richard Lester was to replace Magnus. Superman co-creators David Wesley Newman were brought to retool the script, constructing a new opening and ending. The new script featured newly conceived scenes, such as a new opening involving Superman throwing a nuclear terrorist in the Alpha Tower, Clark rescuing Lois in Niagara Falls, and a new ending when Clark causes Lois to forget his secret identity through a hypnotic kiss, which I'll get to all that later. Furthermore, cinematographer Jeffrey Unsworth died before the release of Superman. When Lester as director, he was not sympathetic to Donner's filmmaking style, commenting, "I think that Donner was emphasizing a kind of grandson myth. There was a kind of David Lynch attempt at several sequences, were scared. There was a type of equality." Another replacement happened when set designer John Barry suddenly collapsed in the nearby set of the Empire Strikes Back and died from mental illness. Peter Morton was then hired by Barry's place. Before filming was to begin, Christopher Reeve was essentially unavailable, as he expected to star in the film Somewhere in Time with Jane Seymour, which I like that movie. 5 months, because I own it, but 5 months into the production shut down, by which his contract to shoot both Superman films back had expired. Reeves claimed that 12 hours after his casting was announced, he received a letter from the producers to be available for Superman 2 on July 16th, which was only 5 days after he was supposed to finish Somewhere in Time filming. In March 1979, the Salkinds filed a suit against Reeve, alleging he had breached his contract while walking over the sequel. Furthermore, Reeve had reservations with Lester and the newsman's script for his departure at Donner. In the negotiations of his contract, Reeve agreed to financial terms but demanded more artistic control. Which I'm like, really? Now the Salkinds here, I think, are being kind of douchebags. I'm like, really? He was filming another movie at the time. Filming for Superman 2 recommended on September. Filming in Superman 2 consumed in September continued at Pinewood Studios. There are many sequences left to be shot. Most of the supervillains, the Hydro, and the battle. Brando was cut from the movie. The decision was made to reshoot the scene in which Clark confesses his love for Lois and surrenders his powers. The film's original script was to have Jor-El restore his powers by reaching out to him in a television of the painting of the creation of Adam, but the younger Salkind felt it was over the top. I do remember that in the Donner cut, and I do agree that was over the top. That, the first scene was reshot with actress Susan York taking Brando's place, but the destruction of Superman's powers would take place off screen. Location shooting took place in Canada. The contract to first film, they were filmed on location in New York, 30 miles from London. There were also, more practical miniature effects in the movie, just like the first one, and some nice shots in there. And some of the shots do not hold up well, but I'm not saying they're awful. I'm not saying, this film looks awful. No. Some of the cinematography still looks nice. The first one, of course, has better cinematography, but this one has good flying scenes and stuff. It does look practical, and they build miniatures and models for the movie, like from the fight scenes, Very impressive. Due to budget reasons and actors being unavailable, key scenes films with Donner were added to the final film. Since the lesser footage was shot 2 years later, Harris is present and stars Margaret Kidder and Christopher Reeve. In Donner's footage, Reeve appears less bulked as he was still getting muscle for the part. Kidder also had a dramatic change throughout. In the montage of Lister Donner shot inside the Daily Planet of the Force Solitude, to the movie's conclusion, her hairstyle, hair color, and even makeup are all consistent. Hey, I like her makeup in this film. Excuse me. I think she's gorgeous. She's pretty in the first movie, but I think she's more gorgeous in here. Margaret Kidder's, Donner's, she's thinner, whereas in the Lister footage, she looks thinner. I think she always looked thin. Although Lister really thought he would not be credited, he approached Donner to see if he wished to be credited as co-director, to which Donner replied, "I don't share credit." Not really, Donner. I'm not trying to say anything about Richard Donner, but he shouldn't be mad at Richard Lester. I mean, it's not his fault, the whole situation with the Soul Kinds and stuff, not really his fault. But it was just time where, in my opinion, the reason they wanted just to make a sequel about that because the producers, of course, wanted the money. That's what it's about. Composer John Williams was slated to come back for the music score, but you had Ken Thorne, who does, of course, continue adding the music for Superman, like the Superman theme, that's still in this film, which, you have to have that for Superman. But he has some different themes as well, and it's fine. The marketing for the film, the New York Times, they licensed 34 products, including posters for the movie, Pepsi Cola, pajamas, and t-shirts with Superman carrying the American flag. They had also entrusted their publishing division to produce calendars, pop-up books, a film novelization, and a behind-the-scenes look, and a children's dictionary for just to market Superman 2. And either way, Superman 2 was going to be successful because the first one made a lot of money, so people would be excited for a sequel. There was some additional footage added in the movie, like lost things like Superman passes a Concorde jet on his way to Paris. This is not the video release. At the end of the film, Clark Kent busts a large, bald man, which reminds him to go to the diner to face the trucker who beat him up earlier. That's okay. A scene that sees the three Kryptonians invasion of the White House, which is in the Donner cut. Superman cooks a software using his heat vision with Lois. Oh man. A scene that gets Rapin's Zora on the moon. In East Houston, a boy tries to escape on horseback, only to be killed by Nunn, who throws a police siren at him, which I don't think you needed that. Yeah, I do remember that. I think in the leader scene, cut that out. I don't want to see a little boy get killed in a Superman film. I'm not going to talk about the Donner cut yet, so. And even some like Smallville did homage to Superman 2, and really Spider-Man 2 as well. Kind of was a homage about Spider-Man giving up his powers, or just quitting being Spider-Man. Oh, but that kiss, that hypnotic kiss, is what kind of Superman had in the comics. In Action Comics 306. It was just really used. Yeah. And Luthor saying on the president's of the Oval Office, in the comics too, he did become president of the United States and won. So yeah. But anyway, the cast for Superman 2 was, of course, Gene Hackman as Lex Luthor, Christopher Reeve as Clark Kent Superman, Ned Beatty as Otis, Jackie Cooper as Perry White, Sarah Douglas as Ursa, Margaret Kidder as Lois Lane, Jago Harlan as Nunn. I'm not Jago Harlan, I can't say his name right, but I'm actually friends with the guy on Facebook, yeah. Nunn himself on Facebook, which is cool. And he seems like a very nice guy. Verily Penny as Eve Taskmaster, Susan York as Laura, Clifton James as the Sheriff, E.J. Marshall as President of the United States, Mark McGlory as Jimmy Olsen, Terrence Stamp as General Zod. Yep. And the movie is directed by Richard Lester. It's produced by Perry Spinkler. It's screenplays by Mark Puzo, David Newman, and Leslie Newsman. Stories by Mark Puzo. The music is by Ken Thorne. He passed away, but he also did the score for Superman 3. The soundtrack is by Robert Pattingham. It's edited by John Victor Smith. It's distributed by Warner Brothers. It was released December 4, 1980 in Australia, April 9, 1981 in the United Kingdom, in the UK, and June 19, 1981 in the US. So this review will be 1981 review, by the way, because it did come out June 19th in the US in 1981. It's 127 minutes long. The budget to make the sequel was $54 million at the box office and made $190.4 million worldwide. Yeah. It did was Best Science Fiction Film. It won that award. Christopher Reeve was nominated for some awards. That was Margaret Kidder. And Mick Cantor for music score, but they didn't win. Okay. Sorry. Sorry. Okay. And this might be another long review. Sorry. Alright, let me just talk about the plot synopsis of the movie. What Superman 2 is about is that Superman follows the plot of terrorists by hurling the nuclear device into outer space, but the bomb shockwaves frees the Kryptonian villain General Zod and his henchmen Ursa and Nun from their imprisonment. Traveling to Earth, they threaten the planet with destruction at the same time that Superman decides to renounce his superpowers in order to live a normal life as Clark Kent with his new love, Lois Lane. So that's the plot and the synopsis of Superman 2. Well, the film opens up with the Warner Brothers logo and the nice Krypton scene again. And the cinematography, the guy that passed away that did the cinematography, like I said, is better than the first movie, but it's good in here. But anyway, what am I doing? Anyway, the film opens up when we see General Zod and Ursa Nunn again, being accused of the crime they committed. Well, in Superman 2, the original work, in this film, you see that in the movie starts off with Krypton, Krypton, and you see that Nunn sneaks up behind a security guard, I guess for Krypton, security guard, and sneaks along and breaks his neck, and Zod grabs a crystal and destroys it, because him and Ursa and Nunn, who are his followers, are trying to take over Krypton, but they get caught. When you see them being on the trial, it says General Zod. It's not Marlon Brando, but it's like the jury or judges are saying, "We sentence you to the Phantom Zone." So you see them get sentenced to the Phantom Zone. They're yelling again as they're into the mirror Phantom Zone, saying, "Help me! Help! You won't bow down before me, Jor-El. You will bow down before me." And then the film, it was with a good Superman theme. The opening credits are good. What I like about the opening credits here is that a lot of superhero sequels don't do this, but we see a recap of the first movie of Krypton, Superman, Krypton being raised by Jonathan Mark Kent, living on Smallville, finding his powers, meeting Lois Lane at the Daily Planet, becoming Superman, this is all from the first movie, so they're showing scenes or recapping from the first movie, just letting you know that this is still Superman. This is the sequel. And I like that. That's very good. And of course, Superman defeating Lex Luthor and putting him in jail, and of course the end. And here we go with the sequel. So I think they did in my opinion, they did a really good job of that. The only superhero sequel I've ever seen do that was Spider-Man 2. And even Spider-Man 3 does that from Spider-Man 2, so I'm like, wow. You cannot tell me, you know what, I forgot to mention that Sam Raimi took some inspiration from this, so in a way I guess you could say he was a fan of Richard Lester's Superman 2. Yeah. I'm saying he probably was a fan. I don't know if Sam Raimi was, but I'm sure he took some inspiration from that. You can't tell me he did not. Come on. But the thing is, we don't see a lot of superhero films, especially a lot of superhero sequels, don't do this. So Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 3 has done this. That's about it. Only thing I can think of. But yeah, a lot of superhero sequels have not done this. So I'm like, wow, that's very smart. I like that opening. Very good idea. Just letting you know it's the sequel. It's getting you pumped up. Knowing that this is Superman 2. Just a good damn way you start. And of course, the music score is still good. And they still use John Williams' score, which I'm sure Kent Thorne was allowed to use. I mean, it's like da-da-da. Very good theme. And then the film opens up with the Daily Planet, Clark Kent, Clark Kent. And I like it that when he's trying to say morning to people, he's trying to help a guy out, but he does it very clumsy. Remember, Clark Kent is bumbling, and still, Christopher Reeve still just nails his character. He still is my Superman, my favorite. And Clark Kent, he's trying to say hi to people, hello, and they're just ignoring him. And one lady bumps into him, and Perry White tells him, Kent, how do you spell this? Kent, there's terrorists taking over, terrorists are taking over the Eiffel Tower in Paris, because Jimmy tells him, that is he's like, I thought it was funny, and here it is more comedy, but, I thought it was funny when Clark was like, gee, Mr. White, that's terrible. That's why they call them terrorists, Kent. You find out that these terrorists in France, they're seized the Eiffel Tower, they're threatening to blow the city, it could destroy all of Paris, and so, of course, Clark, while Perry White is talking, he runs over there, Perry White looks like, where you go? And then he runs, and of course, changes to Superman all over, when he goes he gets away from the building, he's able to go to the side of the building and just run and just, it's like, you just see him magically just kind of become Superman, just fly off. And it would take him a lot to get there, but as Superman is on his way, flying there, we see Lois Lane there, and she wants to get in just to get more. So Lois Lane is that type of character that puts herself in danger all the time, and I like it that when she shows friends to this guy, to this security guard, whatever, cop, and she distracts him with the book and able to run. Like, she's able to run up there. The terrorists release the prisoners, and Lois gets on the bottom of the elevator, and he goes up, and she's like, she's scared because of the heights. I'd be scared too because I'm scared of heights, but because the Eiffel Tower, I'm sure, in Paris is very tall. And Lois is like, capital A, pre-tourists are trying to keep herself calm. Superman is on his way, and the terrorists, have to set it up right, set the bomb up right. And they think that they can hear Lois at first, but then they drop the bomb down, and Superman just, like I said, he flies down time. He sees this, he flies down, and he grabs it. He's like, man, and he's like, I believe this is your fault. She's like, oh, thank God she knows Superman. He's like, it's a bomb. He's like, I know. And then Superman just flies up there and flies the bomb into space and throws it, past the moon and the sun and the earth, it's able to go past there and throw it. And of course, the Mirror Phantom Stone with Zod and Ursa and None are there. And of course, it blows up. The bomb blows up, and they get caught into the effect of the bomb, and it releases them. They don't say, they just get the evil music playing, and then just in space, just flying. They fly straight to the moon. And then meanwhile, Lex Luthor, who was in prison with Otis, says, it almost worked, Mr. Luthor, if Liverpool Boy Scout didn't get it, and he's like, this flat box, Luthor's planning a prison break and trying to find out where Superman lives, trying to find out his secret and basically get his revenge on Superman. And then you have a scene where, you know, Lois is back in town. Well, Clark is like, "Hi, Lois," you know. He tries to get, he walks on the road. Of course, this Tansy can't hit him, but he's Superman. He'll be fine. So, you know, he's like, "Clark, you got to be more careful," and it like damages the taxi, like nearly rips it apart. And the guy's like, "Freak," you know, like, "Clark, you can't do that. You got to be careful," you know. And you know, well, Clark goes in Lois's office, and she kind of goes off. He's like, God detected some jealousy when they're talking about Superman. He's like, "Well, it's not jealous, you know, it's just that, you know, we all can't be fine, all that stuff." He's like, "Clark, you're a good friend, you know," she just shows him, you know, just like, you're a good friend, Clark. You know, I wouldn't mean that, you know, you'll find somebody special one day, you know, you're a good guy, Clark. He's like, "Oh," and, you know, as the orange juice, he tries to kind of make sure she can see that he can press the orange juice and it won't hurt him. And it's like, "Here, Clark, the friendship," and just the orange juice is like, But Lex Luthor is eventually able to break out of prison with the help of Miss Tessmacher. They go straight to, the movie kind of goes back and forth on the whole thing with Lois and Clark and stuff, so if I go back and forth, I'm sorry, doing my reviews, but Lex is able to break out of prison, you know, because Mrs. Tessmacher uses an air balloon. What's funny though is that I like to see when they're trying to get out of prison, the lights will come in and Otis sees it and tries to go do the two rat belt behind his back. He's like, "Stop!" And he's like, "You know when you see it go?" He's like, "I found it, Mr. Luthor." "What is it?" He's like, "It's a ladder, you dummy." You know. But the thing is, Ned Betty, well, Otis can't climb up there because he's too fat, and so Luthor kicks the ladder off. There's a by Otis. And they go to the Fortress of Solitude where they find it. And Miss Tessmacher go in there. And I like to know when he's like, "Oh, this is fantastic." And he's like, "It's fantastic!" And, you know, he's like, "It's fantastic, it's great." And Mrs. Tessmacher's like, fantastic. He's copying everything he says. They go to the Kryptonians, the crystals, because Mrs. Tessmacher touches it. One guy tries to talk about grass, or whatever. Trees, I mean, and he's like, and then they play it to Laura, and then Laura, who's Superman's mother, voice from the past, is talking to him about Zod, and of course, you know, telling him about Zod, knowing that Ursa have the same powers as him as the Earth, that they're very dangerous, and he's like, "Wow," and he figures he can use them, you know, that's just close the black box, but Zod and Nun and Ursa are on the moon, and of course there's astronauts on there, 3 of them. And first one sees him was like, "Houston, we have a girl." You know, he's Ursa flies. Ursa flies is like, she sees the guy, she's like, Ursa's like, "You, what kind of a creature are you?" "Just a man." "A man?" You know, and then she tries to grab his tag, which she does that to kill him, but she tries to run away from her, but of course she's able to fly and get to him with her. It pulls off and the guy dies. He's like, it's like an airbag, this astronaut. You know, she kicks him, and one express got like a rope, and Zod like Roosevelt was like, "Fragile human life that this is," you know, he says. And then, you know, he kicks him, and of course releases him from it and kills him, and Nun, you know, kills the guy's spaceship by crushing it. And you know, Houston, you know, I know they don't know what's happened to them. They just lost contact. They don't know what the heck happened to them. And then Ursa says, we're back to them on the moon. Ursa's like, "Did you see that, you know, our powers, you know, every time they're ever find out they're because again, they've been with the Phantom Zone. Krypton has been destroyed. So they have these powers and they don't understand it, you know. You know, but they find that every time they get closer to the atmosphere, they get stronger, they grow powers. He's like, "They come from there, a planet called Houston." And then General Zod's like, "And we will go there too, to rule." And they, of course, fly on their way. Lois and Clark have to go to this undercover at Niagara Falls to go on a honeymoon suite, just kind of pretend to be a couple. And I like that at first it was funny when the guy, the bellman, just is a jerk. He's like, "Have a happy whatever," you know. And Clark's like, Yeah. Of course, then this is the French. Of course, Lois doesn't know he's Superman. And this time we see Superman as well when they're at Niagara Falls. Which Niagara Falls here, all the beautiful locations. Sometimes in a sequel, you gotta try something. At least with the sequel, they try something different. And I like some of the locations, like Niagara Falls here is very nice. I think it was really Niagara Falls I went to. And Clark gets Lois some food. He's like, well, she's thinking about food. We're one of the most beautiful places in the world. And he's like, well, and she mentions Superman. I was like, him again. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. That's okay. And he tries to go get her a hot dog, and there's this little boy that's goofing off. His mom is not paying attention. This is probably the worst mom ever because she's not even paying attention to the boy. She's like, yeah, honey, eating cotton candy. And the boy's like playing on it, and she's not paying attention. And he falls. Ah! You know, Lois is like, oh my God! You know, she does like that, oh my God, it's a little funny, but I still, love our kiddo, she can still be funny as Lois Lane, and Spitfire. But she's like, help, help, and Clark sees this, of course he goes changes to Superman, and the boy falls, but then Superman falls and you get to think, when Superman catches the boy and falls him back, he's like, again, he's like, no, I'm sorry, what do I do, customer? Bye, everybody. And Lois like, Superman, he flies over. He's like, well, gee, you don't even say hi to me. It's me. And then she figures out, wait a minute. Clark is not around as usual. And Clark, of course, points out, he was like, where have you been? He was like, I was getting hot dogs. Oh, you sure about that? And she's like, as they go talk to the side of the edge of the waterfall, she's like, what's your hurry, Superman? And Clark's like, I'm sorry? It's like, you think I'm not Clark Kent? I'm Superman? No. And she's like, I'm willing to bet my life on it. So she jumps in the water. You can say it was stupid, but she wants to prove the point. And we know, as the audience member, she is right. And I think she's, got him here. And Clark's like, oh my God, runs and can't show who he really is, so he has to pretend just to be Clark Kent still. He's able to use his heat vision though, but not her looking, because she's in the water, in the current. And Clark, if people are not looking, he's able to use his heat vision. He's like, Lois, grab the stick, And she does, and Clark's like, Lois, get up here, and then she falls. It's like, this is embarrassing. And meanwhile, Zod, and also known arrive on Earth, and you see this man watching them singing, we see General Zod walking on water, which I'm like, okay, that was cool. As they're walking on the Earth, as they're walking, because on planet, since they're on Earth, they're just walking, and they see a snake, and Ursa picks the snake up, and is like, fascinating little creature, and then the snake, bites her, she's like, throws it in this. He says, did you see that? I have unlimited powers here. I was like, well, I have them, my dear, here. And of course, none tries to pick up the snake. He has one time pressing his heat vision, so he's like, and they go to this little town, they meet these two cops, Clifton James, who's from, if you remember the racist sheriff from the Annoying Sheriff, I call him the racist Annoying Sheriff from Live and Let Die, Man with One Gun, Clifton James is in there. He's okay, he's getting here, he's better in here, I think, than he was in the James Bond films. But he's like, hey, move aside, you yuppies, and General Zod's like, now make way. He's like, that son of a bitch, give me an order. He's like, wait, you want to be on KK6 with a deputy, go shoot him? To get pointed, but just still point his gun at him and tell him to stop and that they're going to arrest him. And somewhat, they're able to, use their heat vision. Zod does. And he's like, ow! And they're able to, I guess, telekinesis or something able to do it. I guess bad guys have different powers than superheroes sometimes, but... And then it's like, they shoot the gun to hurt them, of course. And they see the gun, because Zod is intrigued by it, and he picks it up, and he just breaks it. And then he sees the police siren, and he just picks up the police siren, not picks it up, but grabs the police siren, and is like, woo! And it's funny though, because he looks up, so I was like, because he wants it, and so I was like, yeah, go ahead and have it. Meanwhile, Lois is, later on, back to Lois and Clark, because Lois is upset, and she's like, I made a fool out of myself. And, Mr. Wonderful, we just decided to better things to do. Well, Lois, I'm sure you can hear your reason, Clark says. He's like, where's my hairbrush? Clark, can you hear that hairbrush over there? And he falls, and, his hand lands in the fireplace. He's like, let me look at your hand, Clark. He's like, no, Lois, I'm fine. He's like, and not a scratch, not an injury at all. He's fine. And she's like, you are Superman. I was like, no, Lois. Trying to make it see if he can. Like, and he just turns around, he takes his glasses off, and he's like, wow, I'm sorry. He's like, you don't have to nothing to be sorry about. I can't believe I do that. I didn't want to do that. I don't think I wanted to do that. Well, not with your mind, but with your heart, Clark. Well, Superman, she knows that he's Superman now. He's like, well, Lois, he's like, she tells him straight away, I'm in love with you. And, Superman's like, I was like, okay, we really need to talk. It was just, I think, a very special moment between the two. I think he, with his heart, wanted to prove, Lois being upset. I think he wanted to, not with his mind, but with his heart, wanted to show her that, because he is in love with her, to show her that he is Superman. And he does, and he's like, well, I think you should know everything. We can't talk here, though. This pair will be calling out, what's finding out. So they decided to go to, he takes her to the Fortress of Solitude. He tells Lois, about his secret, how he became Superman. He talks about the crystal that called him, like we saw in the first movie. Even though it sounds kind of craziest, but she tells her. They have dinner, and he goes, I've never been happier before, and you can see them falling more in love as they're having lunch. She's like, I'm going to change them with something comfortable, with the point that they're going to sleep together. But Superman decides to, and of course he's in a Superman suit, by the way, but he decides to give up his powers. He talks to his mother, Laura, he's like, Kal-El, you really want to do this? Do you for this woman? And by the way, a mother is probably more understanding than a father sometimes. I don't know if that's true, but that's why I think I like it better here than, Jor-El being there, because Laura, I think, as his mother, biological mother, would have a more of understanding. I mean, if she was not supportive, she's like, Kal-El, please don't do this, There's like, mother, I love her, and I just want you to do this. And of course, he decides to give her his power, which that's an upsetting moment to see all men, where Superman, of course, goes in the chamber. It's the Red Sun, which, under Kryptonian Red Sun, once he exposes to it, it takes away his powers. It's like, when you're watching it, you see like the face of a skeleton Superman. It's like, that Superman is gone now. It's like two people walking, just becoming normal Clark Kent, just, like seeing the ghost of Superman walking out of the shadow of Superman. They say, that you did for mother? Like, yeah, I love you. And then, of course, they sleep together and probably, we don't see that not in a pretty much PG movie, but, But meanwhile, after the incident with the police, they go to the bar in this little town. This little boy that runs into Noan, just kind of runs into him by accident, and he sees Noan practicing his vision and getting better at that, and Noan's like, as they're in the bar, they do arm wrestling, and the men try to flirt with her, so it's like, Noan would shake hands, and of course, since she does have super strength, she just knocks the guy down, breaks his arm, was like, girl, no, you're gonna break your teeth then. And Zod just pushes him, and they just fight these people. One pulls a shotgun and says, stop. And Zod's like, these humans are beginning to bore me. And then he's able to use like a beam from his finger to lift the man up. And the kid's like, please, Zod, let my daddy go. And he's like, just lets him go. And then they're filming it on TV in front of the news for the whole world to see. It's like, The whole planet Houston seeing it, the whole planet Earth is seeing this. You may continue. And Zod's like, is there nobody on this planet to even challenge me? You know. And then, of course, the army, the military starts to come and fight against them. Of course, they can't shoot them. They try to shoot bombs at them, and they're like, they have to use objects to fly. And he's like, oh, congratulations on Everest. Both of them kiss Ursa, and Ursa blows them the super breath kiss, or super breath though. And they fight the military. They're able to knock them down. They cannot take them down, and they win. And John's like, I win! Finally, I always win. I always win. You know, there's no on this planet they even challenge me. You know. And they start to go to the White House to control the country. They start defeating things. They're flying around, taking over. They go to the White House. There's, you know, they just break in. The military starts to shoot at them, but it doesn't work. They would knock them down and toss them down like, kind of like rag dolls almost, you know. And they take the guns and break it. I think in the Richard Donner cut, you know, Zod has a machine gun and shoots at them and laughs about it, but when he just throws a gun at them, blows them away, he has like a smirk on his face. And they break into the White House and they're like, now you will kneel before Zod, you know, and, you know, you're the president. And then he's able to tell that this guy's not the president, you're not the president. One that leads so many of the world does not lead so quickly. He's like, and the president's like, I will save lives. It will, starting with your own. You know, kneel before Zod. You know. And he goes, I wouldn't kneel, but there was one man that would never kneel before you. Who is this imbecile? Where is he? And he's like, I don't know, and then the president's like, I wish I knew. Oh God. He's like, Zod. You know. Meanwhile, Superman has given up his powers, which I know some people don't like that. I do agree. I don't like that he gives rid of his powers either, but he did it because, you know, he loves Lois. You know, it was his choice. Come on. You know, but Superman does not come off as being an asshole here. You tell that he's in love with Lois Lane, that he just wants, he chose to be normal. You know, it's really his choice. I mean, yeah, he's a Kryptonian man, but he's grown. He has a right to make his own choices, you know. You know, every man has a right to make their own choice when they're grown. But anyway, they go to this bar, or well, just to go eat. But they, you know, her and Clark decide to go eat. It's like, okay, you know, they go sit there in the front of the tables of the bar, and this truck driver, I think the character was named was Rocky. This guy's like, and she's like, sir, that seat's taken. He's like, it is now, sugar. And then, you know, Clark went to the bathroom and was like, excuse me, sir, I believe you're sitting in my seat. And it's like, your seat's in there for us in the bathroom. And Clark was like, sir, somebody to teach you some manners. And Rocky just, who's a bully character? This guy's a bully. And remember, he doesn't have any powers. Okay, he doesn't have any powers, so he's like, sir, somebody teach you some manners. Like, oh, really? And he gets up and he's like, just keep mellow steak. This guy's just a minute steak. He's like, well, let's go step outside. You know, we need to step outside, sir. It's like, okay. And Clark is, you know, walking back. The guy punches Clark in the back, and Clark falls down. He's like, it's my blood. We'll feed him on blood. I hired a bodyguard from now on. And, you know, Clark's like, it's me. And he's like, and Lois is like, Clark! Lois is like, oh, I'm done with you, mister. He's like, you still just can't get knocked down. And Clark punches him down the butt, punches Clark, just beats the hell out of him, knocks him down, hurts him real bad. You know. And Lois, I do want to get that Lois Lane, since she's a Spitfire. She just jumps on the guy, tries to kick him, and then, of course, the restaurant owner tries to, you know, break him from him, and Lois is about to attack him. He's like, I don't like your meat anyway. You know. And he's like, that happened. It's never happened to me before. Because again, remember being Superman, nothing really home, but now that he's a normal man, he's feeling pain like a normal man. Bleeding, blood. And then they see on the news that Zod has taken over the planet. And he's like, General Zod has taken over, and then Superman's like, Zod, you know. Like Zod. And he's like, the president, claims as like, Superman, where are you? We need you. And then Zod grabs the microphone, like, who is this Superman? Where's he at? They're like, Superman, you coward, come to me. You coward, kneel before Zod. And no, I don't think he's over the top. Tanner Step no. That's because Zod wants to roar and yells, and I think Tanner Step does a good job at that. He's very intimidating when he yells, or gets angry. Even behind the scenes, Tanner Step said his General Zod is like Adolf Hitler. And he's very serious, doesn't joke around, and does scream and mad, just like a ruler would probably, an evil dictator would probably go, well, yeah, I can see that. That's what Zod is. He's like, come to me, Son of Jor-El, kneel before Zod, on TV. Well, just says, he's like, Clark's like, I made a mistake. I gotta go back and stop them. He's like, and Lois like, it's too late now, you can't do nothing about that. I want the man alone. He's like, Lois, I gotta go, He's like, I gotta go back. I gotta change things. I gotta try. I have to try. So he goes back over. So he tries to get a ride from a Stockholm with the guy. And I was like, oh. And he was like, Father, can you hear me, Mother? Father, forgive me. I was like, I want to go back to the house. I mean, what am I doing? And it was like, Superman's begging for his powers back. And I was like, Father, where are you? It was like, because the Kryptonian crystals are destroyed. He's like, so I was like, Father! People complain about that being over the top, but I was fine with it. I felt the emotion behind the scenes here. And, again, for Christopher Reeve by now, doing this film, it's a walk in the park, because he's not shooting movies back to back since he's taken a break from doing Superman and since he did Somewhere in Time. But I think, again, for him playing Superman, it was a walk in the park. And I like seeing him say, Father! Just the frustration, the sadness, the guilt he feels for giving up his powers, the mistake he made. Yeah, he made a mistake, but that's part of being human. That's a human side of Superman that I see. He made a mistake, but by accident. He didn't know they were coming. He probably knew, just ignore it. He's human. He just made a mistake. And, then that green crystal pulls up and it can rebuild the fortress and give him his powers back. We don't see it, which I know people don't like that, but I was fine with it. Hey, I didn't need to see him become Superman again, because the next scene makes up for it, which I'll get to that later. Because when they're in the White House, Zod, Ursa, and Ursa and Nona are sitting in the White House Oval Office, and Lex Luthor shows up and tells them that he can help them, give them anything they want. It's like, we have all that. We don't need anything from you. It's like, the Son of Jor-El is like, yes, revenge of Son of Jor-El. The Son of Angelic, your revenge. Is like, revenge! And Zod's like, what do you want, Lex Luthor? He's like, Australia. And he's sitting at the desk, and he's sitting at the office. And he's like, okay, very welcome, Lex Luthor. And of course, he sends him to the Daily Planet, which, Lois and Mr. White, Mr. Perry White, and Jimmy Olsen are there, like, oh, where's Superman? Where's he at? A cat in a tree he can go, but and now he's not in the show. Where's he at? Where's Superman at? And then, of course, an attack happens. This nun breaks in, Zod and Ursa are behind her, but, he's breaking the doors down and smashing everything down. Nun is, and pushing people, and kicking people and punching. And grabs Mr. White, picks him up, and just throws him into the ceiling and hits his head. Doesn't kill him, just passes him out. Is like, we'll take his human, Lois Lane, because Lex tells them about Lois, is like, they have a relationship thing on, It's like, okay, Lois tries to punch Ursa, but it doesn't work. She does make a remark that does piss Ursa. I was like, you yourself, sister, you do some work, and Ursa's about to get mad, and I was like, stop, she lives for now. And then finally, when you see Zod pictures of Superman in newspapers, and you see flying through the air, your wind blowing, and of course it's Superman. And this makes up for that scene I was talking about, with the crystal. It was a mystery. Sometimes you don't need an explanation for everything. Well, I don't. But Superman shows up. He's like, General, would you care to would you care to step outside? And he goes, Joe, would you care to step outside? And he's like, and John's like, come to me, son of Jor-El, kneel before Zod. And Zod goes flying out there, and he's like, you will die, son of Jor-El. He's like, I'm not a coward, Zod. I will get you, you know. I'm not a coward, Zod. I was like, then die as you deserve to. You go, he basically like this building side of a construction little building there, whatever you want to call it. Throws it, Superman uses heat vision. You see him in pain too, so I guess to get his powers back, he might have to suffer some pains, but he has to get his powers back in order to take them down, you know, in order to stop them. And they say, let's prove that he's not a coward. So he fights with, you know, Ursa and them, they're flying. Ursa, I think it was Ursa that kicked Superman in the face. Superman's able to fly back and, you know, do a punch to none like grabs him. Ursa grabs like a pole and then tries to hit him with a pole in the face, but she hits none instead, knocking him down. You know, and then, because when none bumps into a tower on a building, the tower falls off. It's about to fall on a woman and her baby, but Superman grabs it, flies it back up there, and traps none. And then Zod finds out, I found his weakness. He actually cares for these humans, and Nurse is like pets. I was like, I'll go join his fire. So, and in the movie though, this was all miniatures half the time, and they really do blow up cars, you know, not in the movie, but behind the scenes, they really do blow up cars. So the fires and stuff you see in the movie is for real. When Zod starts using his heat vision to blow up cars to hurt people, they're starting to take anger out on people, starting to hurt on people, and he's like, you know, he almost blows up a truck, but Superman, you know, grabs the mirror side of the truck and deflects it back to Zod and goes back to Zod, you know, Zod just moves. It just burns it burns the billboard, not him. But then before the truck is going to blow up, so Superman uses his freeze breath, just, you know, and saves the truck from blowing up. And he fights a little fight with Zod, you know, Zod tries to hit him, is able to push Superman to a marble truck. Marble, I didn't say marble, you know, smoking truck. And Superman is able to like, just grab him and toss him around and throws him on a Coca-Cola sign, which is cool. And Ursa and Nod pick up the bus of people and like, Superman's like, no, don't hurt the people. And they're going to throw it at him, and Zod's like, throw it at him, do it! You know, and they throw it at him. It just probably knocks Superman out for a while. It doesn't kill him, but that was a part of it. What was cool about it, he used his models, they practiced it, was like a, behind the scenes, it was a little miniature effect of Superman being thrown in a truck, so, yeah. It was just very cool how they did it. It still puzzles me how they did it. Like, it's just like the first one, just amazing effects, amazing miniatures. They did such a great job, you know. I miss those days, you know. Well, I wasn't born with those days, but those days I think making movies was just pure magic, you know. But, you know, a lot of movies are still pure magic, you know. I'm not saying a lot of movies are not, but Superman, you know, gets away from the truck, and, well, people are like, they kill Superman, so they try to attack Zod or something, they try to grab pipes and grab weapons to attack the people, and then they start blowing at them, and they use their super breath. It is a little bit of comedy here. Yeah, some of the comedy is a little goofy, but I was fine with it. Some of it did make me laugh, you know. Because with Superman, I can see comedy in there. A lot of comedy like that. And I was fine with it, you know. Some of it did make me laugh. Some of the comedy does make me laugh in this film. Yeah. Superman, you know, gets away from the truck, gets away from the bus, but he flies away. And people are like, oh, he's a coward. Superman, you did nothing, kids say. And then they fly back there, and so that, and John's like, he is a coward after all, you know. And they're like, well, since he's a coward, you know, they're trying to go to, oh. they decide to go to the Fortress of Solitude to defeat Superman. Superman shows up, and one thing I thought was lame here is when Zod goes to fly and attack Superman, and Superman has the S out of his the paper out of his an S paper or something, the whole thing with, like that, just like really. Why not just punch him in the face or something? I don't know. I thought that was just pretty lame, but that's just my opinion. But that's like that's an issue I have, but it doesn't completely piss me off. I'm like, really? More? Yeah, really? Just it's more like just take that, you bad guy. But and they said and so I was like, let's get him. So they try to use their little beaming fingers, beam Superman. Superman's able to hit the moon deck and knock them out. And I was like, get him! And they try to attack Superman. Superman's able to use these holograms, images of himself. Ursa, you don't know which one the real hologram is. Ursa tries to attack, hologram. Now tries to, tackle Superman down, but it's a hologram. Lois tries to hug Superman, but it's not really Superman. Instead, he's got his eye. He's got his eyes like, come on, Zod. He's like, strangling his eye. And then Ursa and None grab, they said, let him go. They're going to kill her. He's like, okay, done. And deciding that they'll have to let them win now, I guess. And then they basically are going to force Superman to get into the power chamber. Well, because Lex Luthor runs his mouth about it. He tries to get them in there, but it's like, Luthor, you poisonous snake! Sorry, it's my dad talking. He's like, Luthor, you poisonous snake! And Luthor, they force Superman to get into the chamber, and to go into the Red Sun to get his powers taken away again. And it happens, he gets his powers taken away, and he's like, Superman, come to me. He's like, Superman just goes to his eyes, like, finally, knew before his eyes saw Jor-El. He's like, swear to turn look at Zod, and he grabs Zod's hand, and he squeezes it, and Zod's like, hurting him. Then he picks him up, and apparently throws him back in there, and then Flex is like, well, wait. He was safe in there while the person was out here, so you were safe in Superman to Lex, and None tries to attack and falls. Lois was like, you know what, you're a real pain in the neck, and gives her a punch, and she hugs Superman. It's like, I knew you were. So, of course, Superman came up with a plan the whole time. The reason he flew away from the city to fly away, because he couldn't continue fighting in there, because eventually a person would have got hurt real bad, so would have been killed, and he didn't want that. So he had to take him to his ground, Fortress of Solitude, to defeat them, and he does. So the whole time he was tricking them, which was smart. And he's able to defeat them, and he's like, Lex, I knew you betrayed me, and they leave Lex to the Fortress of Solitude for the police to get him later. And Superman flies Lois back home. He's like, you fly anywhere anytime you want, and she's upset, and Superman's like, good night. And the next morning he comes back as in the Daily Planet as Clark Kent. Pretty much as usual, but he puts on his real self when he gets to Lois. He's like, how are you, Lois? He's like, she's like, I couldn't get no this way. She starts crying, and she tells him that it's like a doctor going away, he's not going to go back. And she lets him know that she's worried about him, and that she's selfish. Like, Clark's like, you're not selfish. He's like, yes, I am. I'm jealous of the whole world. And she's upset because she can never see him, doesn't know what to call him. It puts a lot of stress on her. So Clark decides to somewhat help her out by taking off his glasses, and he gives her a magic kiss, because I know the magic kiss, it's silly, but it's fine here, since, like I said, and I didn't know this until I read it, but Superman did have that in the comics, and it was fine. It is from the comics. It must be true. So, Superman did it because he loved her, though. And she goes back to Lois Lane, not knowing that he's Superman. and Clark goes to the bar, back to that bar place, just to see Rocky. He's like, "Excuse me, sir, I think you're sitting in my seat." And he's like, "Come and get him for us," and he's like, he tries to punch Clark, but of course can't because he's back to being Superman. He can't really he could kill the guy if he wanted to, or hurt him real bad, but he doesn't. Instead, he picks him up, put him on a lunch, he's like, "This one wants to go," and then just throws him down the bar, 2-hour arcade little game, and the guy gets hit in the head, like, "Oh." He's like, "Oh, for the damages," and his excuse is like, "Oh, sir, I've been working out." And the people are like, "Wow," and they smile. And Superman goes to the great scene where he has the American flag. He's flying it there. He's like, "Sorry, General. Sorry, Mr. President. That was wrong. I promise you I'll never do it again." And then the movie ends with Superman flying over Earth again and smiling over Earth. And happy ending. Yeah. Yep, but that's the end of Superman 2. Alright. I'm going to read some quotes real quick, guys, and I'll give you my final opinion on Superman 2. Lex Luthor. Think of it. 3 Calvin. 3 supervillains, each one with the powers of Superman. Learning to contact on Earth. Someone with the same wonderful concept for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The villain must be an homage to Will. So this is now Planet Houston, a very strange surface. I like the glow, it flashes red like the Kryptonian sun. Crude noisemaker. I win, always win, I always win. Is there no one who's planning to even challenge me? And he will answer to me. All of his cities shall end up like this one. I see you are practicing worshiping things that fly. Come to me, son of Jor-El, kneel before Zod, and I'll finally take my hand. Swear eternally loyalty to Zod. I have powers beyond reason here. If our planet is watching, cannot we show them something more interesting? General Zod does not take orders, he gives them. Look, they need machines to fly. What kind of backwards planet is this where the front line Julian ribbons? None? You are without thought and you are without voice, Kryptonian council member. Then if this is what you wish, if you intend to live a life, you must live as a mortal, as his mother says. I'll bet you $10. They're from Los Angeles. Sheriff has East Zod and Company in the zip road. Keep it on Flame Mountain. This is just a minute. You 3 criminals have been caught in the further act of sedition treason. Turns out, your only thought was contempt for your own for our society. Your only desire was to command. Ursa, the only feeling you show was for your voice general. Your only wish to rule on his side. None. You are as without as you without voice. This council has no hesitation in proclaiming you all. Kid, I need a story to run with the page. Simple. Give me everything you can on this terrorist group. Right. Sorry, terrorist? Get your head in the clothes, kid. Where have you been for the past 12 hours? Home. Well, did you watch television? Well, actually, I don't enjoy television, Mr. White. There's too much buzz. I was just reading Dickens. Mr. Kennedy, Kevin says in Albertown in Paris. He knows where it is, Colson. You know, don't you, Kemp? Yes, sir. Has anybody been hurt? Well, so far the hostages are on. The hostages? Yeah, tourists. About 20 of 3. Yeah, but that's just petty stuff. These guys come to, in French, talking about the beginning of the movie. Okay, well, I'm done here. I'm not going to read all the quotes, but yeah. But let me give my final opinion on Superman 2. Alright. Good sequence, okay. But to give my final opinion on Superman 2, in my opinion, this is an excellent sequel. I love this movie, yeah. This movie, I probably did watch it as a kid a couple times. I don't remember if I did. I think I watched Superman 3 a lot more, but Superman 2, to me, was always an excellent sequel. Yeah. I liked the story. I thought the story was good. I liked the opening of the movie, which was some good action. I loved, Superman flying to Paris from, different location, which is nice, That was interesting, I like the recap of the first movie. Because, it's recapping the movie. You're seeing scenes from the first movie. And Just letting you know, which I think is cool. I like that a superhero sequel, did that. I think that's, in my opinion, in my opinion, that's really cool for them to do that. The opening is really good. The story I think is really good. But yeah, Superman this time, that he does fall in love. I like to see him and Lois Lane fall in love. Again, Margaret Kidder, and Christopher Reeve both have great chemistry in here, and they work as Lois and Clark, in my opinion. I buy them falling in love. You want them to fall in love. And Superman, he wasn't being selfish at giving up his powers. No, he just did it because he fell in love. He just wanted to be with the woman that he loved. There's nothing wrong with that. He just gave up his powers. It was his choice. Like I said, he was grown. If he chooses not to be Superman no more, then that was his choice. He did make an accidental mistake by that, but he didn't know. But, of course, Terrence Stamp as Zod, he's great, he is a legend. I do like Michael Shannon in Man of Steel, yes. I know people complaining about, him being over the top. I'm like, no. Michael Shannon I thought was good, He's not better, but I think he's nearly just as good as Terrence Stamp. But Terrence Stamp is still Zod to me. Nuclear Man was terrible. And Superman 4, that was over the top. That, yelling in Superman 4. But anyway, on that shitty movie, it's another day. But, but Superman 2 is like that. The villains were Ursa Nunn, great. I thought Jack O'Halloran did a great job. He was intimidating on there. He didn't have a voice, but you can tell what he's thinking, what he's acting like when he's angry, when he's going to hurt somebody. From his movements, even though he's no dialogue. You can tell that, he's the bronze of the group. Ursa being the second man, Ursa's just plain evil. Just wanting to do whatever Zod wants and wanting to even kill people. That's what they want to do. And the villains in here were great. They were threatening because they all have powers like Superman, and it makes them even a greater threat for Superman to face. But, I just learned that, Superman had to learn from making a mistake. I thought, he just had to learn from his mistakes in here. Yeah, he made a mistake, but he learned from it. I didn't need to see him become Superman. Yeah, you don't get Superman a whole lot in here, but hey, you did get Superman in the movie. But again, superhero films are not action films. I will keep saying that in these reviews. Superhero films, it's about the story. Superman 2, I thought, had a good story. The love story was good. And yeah, Superman made a mistake. Even says that nobody's perfect, not even Superman can make a mistake. Yeah. But the action scenes when they're there, the opening is good. I like the scene where Superman saves the boy from falling Niagara Falls. Beautiful locations where they film. I think Rich List did a great job. I will get to my problems later. Rich List, a lot of the comedy I thought worked. Yeah, some of it is a bit too silly, but I was fine with it. I'm glad I didn't take it so seriously. I don't think nobody really wants a serious Superman film. Well, I don't mind a serious Superman film, but at least have humor in there. Yeah. I thought the director was good. I thought the script was good. Yeah. It's written by 3 people. I thought they did a good job writing the movie. The music by Ken Thorne is good. He's got some new music scores in the movie. I especially like it for the villains, for Zod and Nunn. The score for them is I like the most. Cinematography, well, it's not better than the other guy, I can't mention his name. He passed away, Ken Thorson, or whatever the guy's name was. That passed away before Superman was released. The movie was released. The cinematography is still nice. Yeah, some shots I don't think hold up well. Like some of the flying scenes don't hold up well, but they're not terrible. Yeah, but the editing is good. The fight scenes are very good. The action is good when it's there. Very practical. I like the miniature effects, the model effects. Great special effects in here. The cast is great. Again, Christopher Reeve as Clark Kent Superman. He is great once again. And Margaret Kidder as Lois Lane, great too. And I think the whole cast did a great job in the film. So. The directing, the writing, the music score is really good. The episode shortly, the ending, I think, is really good. The movie, yes, it is 2 hours, but it doesn't feel like it. For me, it just depends on how long you pause it. If it was a little bit long for me watching this, I'm not saying this is a long movie. No, it doesn't feel like a very, very long movie. Some superhero movies are long. Avengers Endgame was like 3 hours, but still, as long as you have a good story and you're entertaining me, then I'm into it. Then I'm interested, And I was invested in the story, and again, I'm still invested in Superman, in the character. So, as long as I'm invested in the story and the character, I'm down for it. You got my attention, But Superman 2 is a very entertaining sequel. I know people like the original a lot better, but I'll probably prefer this over Richard Donner cut. I know it's an unpopular opinion. I don't care if I get dislikes for that. I don't care. It's my video, my opinion. I don't care if people don't like that. I don't give a damn. But I love Superman 2, yeah. I think it's an entertaining sequel. I think sometimes it even gets overlooked, because of the Donner cut, But the Donner cut, I will get to that when we get to that. I'm not going to say anything negative about it, or bad about it. No. This is a review of Superman 2, not Donner cut. So, please let's not get into an argument in the comments about the Donner cut. I don't want to get into that. We'll talk about it when we get to the review. So please don't do that. But Superman 2, entertaining sequel. I think it's a fun movie. It's just a fun sequel. It's a very good, solid sequel. Problems, well, like I said, some of the comedy I don't think works. Sometimes it is a bit over too silly. And sometimes it makes me laugh. And sometimes it's just a little just too silly, And sometimes the shots, the flying shots, like in Metropolis, there's some scenes I don't think hold over. They're not terrible. Just, like the light and the water scene where they're flying, where no one is chasing Superman and they're flying. Some of that shot some of it does not hold up, but it's not terrible. I just don't think it holds up. And I didn't like, well, you know what, I'm not going to mention that again. Again, I don't like Superman using his powers. I do have my issue with that. I'm like, I don't think you need to get rid of your powers, but I see why he wouldn't do it. About Superman making a mistake. And I think I can know where Lester was going with the story, so to make his version of Superman 2, I think he does a good job. I'm okay with the humor, But Superman 2, entertaining sequel, I love it. I think it's a fun movie, but I think the first one is still, in my opinion, a better movie. But this film is just as great, just as good as the first one. It's just as good as the first one, in my opinion. The only reason I say I refer to the Donner cut is because I grew up more watching this one first. So maybe it's a little bit nostalgic for me, and I just watched the sequel a lot more than I did the Donner cut. And I've only seen the Donner cut one time. I've seen this a lot more. But that's just me, folks, personally. But I'm not going to get into the debate over that. But that's just my opinion. But my rating for Superman 2 is, I'm going to give it 4 stars. Yes, those issues I still have with it, but a lot of it I have defended, in this review, And again, I still think it's a fun, solid, entertaining sequel. This is how you do a sequel, right? And a director's cut, even any director's cut, to me will make it better. To me it's just still a good movie. To me, if I like a movie, this is just me personally, if I like a movie the way it is, I like it, and just because you make a director's cut, that doesn't mean I really want to see it or watch it. If I like a movie the way it is, I'm happy with that. But Superman 2, entertaining sequel, again, I give Superman 2 a thumbs up, and my rating for this sequel is 4 and 5 stars. The first one is still better, but this is just as good in my opinion. So Superman 2, solid, fun, entertaining sequel, good story, good cast, good sequel. That's all I can say about Superman 2. Fun sequel. Definitely recommend it if you've never seen it before. If you like Superman, definitely check out Superman 2. Good movie. Alright, guys. Alright, next. Next, I will be, like I said, I'll be doing separately. Next, I will be reviewing, I don't know about this week, but maybe next week. But next, I will be reviewing, the next Superman review for my Superman franchise of reviews will be Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut, as you've never seen it before. Where they restore some scenes from the movie, as they originally were intending to do with it. But Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut, we'll get into that review, but the Richard Donner cut will be next. So, stay tuned for this. I don't know if it'll be this week or next week. But Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut, this will be next. So, hope you look forward to it. My review of Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut. So, thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me, what do you think of Superman 2 in the comments down below? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you prefer the Richard Donner cut, in your opinion? Or are you one of those few people that prefer this over the Richard Dover cut, or do you just simply like both? I don't know if I'll really say what officially. Maybe my opinion will change, folks. Opinions change. So maybe, I don't know. I don't know yet. But I will see you guys in my review for Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut. So, thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Kneel before Zod! No, I'm just kidding. Thanks for watching, guys. Y'all have a great day. And stay safe, and be good. Bye-bye. Oh, and please don't forget to say a little prayer for my parents, to just be healed from Corona. And guys, just be safe out there. Just make sure to wear a mask. Just be safe. And thanks for watching, guys, and thank you for your support of my channel. And if you've stuck around for this long, I appreciate it. And have a great day. Have a good one, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.